because yeah, it's we can discuss it because there are still possibility for that to change something in the project or to do some new approaches.
Would you care to comment on the ownership of these buildings, in particular of the residential buildings? Because I didn't see your plan to have the owners involved.
There are also a private sector which we developed. It's exactly about that collective ownership can be, and also could be interesting for investors, because there are program Ye Відновлення in Ukraine, and people who lost their houses, they can get a certificate of compensation. And when we speak about private houses, it can work in the way that we can invest this certificate in the new building, and then people can come back to live there by paying some rent, because this building is becoming better. And on the first floor can be a commercial function. So yeah, we can speak about also this in our project. That's why this district is interesting, because there are different functions: administrative, private sector, there's a community center, so public spaces. On one example, we can show approaches of renovation of different type of activities, social activities.
Where does the material come from? Are you thinking about recycling, for example? After the World War, there are a lot of bricks were recycled here. Do you think about this part? Do you think about this part?
Yeah, we think about this part, for sure we think about, and there were even programs in Kharkiv region about recycling materials. And people were glad to help because they were glad to do something. To look at that disaster around us does not make you motivated. And they are very helpful in that. And of course, recycling, it's a point of our project, also very important.
I have a question. How did you find each other? I mean, how did you find out about the French Quarter, and how did you find the article?
Thank you for the question. When I started, I won the grant, which were from GetSet organization, German, you know that, and I went here. I have had 8 weeks online courses, trainings, and then I had 2 weeks here in Tübingen in Export Academy, and our goal was to find the partners. So we worked very targeting on this point. I sent more than 30 letters with our colleagues from our company to different potential partners, and we received some feedbacks, not much, but one of them were from Architektenwerkgruppe, and we did the appointment, and I came to their office and we started to communicate. But for that moment, we did not have that cooperation project. We did not have any project. We just thought that it can be some kind of collaboration. But then when I came back to Ukraine, I started to think what it can be the project, what we can do together, because we already speak about win-win cooperation in Export Academy also, that it needs to be win-win cooperation, win-win partnership. And I thought in our terrible situation, what kind of win-win partnership can be? But then we found Izolacja project, and I saw that it is it was a rule of that grant that there needs to be involved German partners, and I already had it. So then we started that collaboration. We started to write together that application, and we applied And we did a lot, I think, during this year together.
Yes, it's a wonderful project.
Thank you.
Participating or integrating the community, international partnership, and also partnership between the civil society and the municipal city administration. So that's great. I'm just thinking, where's the money coming from? And I'm still thinking about your last question. What is more threatening? What is more expensive? Natural disaster or a neighbor who is a terrorist state? And I'm just thinking about, the challenges Ukraine is confronted in the near future. So you have the reconstruction of the entire country, which is extremely expensive. But at the same time, it's obviously, in order to contain future Russian aggression, you have to build up a defense industry so that you could produce the weapons and the ammunition by yourself, and you have to spend a lot of money into the military sector. So there are three big construction sites which are consuming a lot of money. And of course, Ukraine has a lot of potential in agriculture and in industry, I'm quite sure. But where is the money coming from? And I think the good thing would be let Russia pay.
Yeah, that's of course, it's not discussable. That needs to be like that. But if we speak about little scale, like our project, I need to say that not only Izolatia and European Union paid, it's written European Union co-financial by Zmina rebuilding project, but it's also paid by Architecturwerk Group, by my company, Portal-21. We were obliged also to co-finance this project. So the same will work for other projects, I think. And if there is some help from outside, we also need to let gather ourselves and give something, not only our hands, but also our money, our finance. And for me, it's a good point for collaboration, because in this way we show our willingness to do it in a best way, and not only to, this is a responsibility. When you give your money from your pocket, you immediately feel it as your project.
So is this.
And about all disasters, and that we need to in one time to resolve so many type of problems. I think it's make us more strong. We develop very quickly ourselves. We develop our country. We develop ourselves. Because in the challenges we are grow. We not grow in a still situation. It's dynamic or static, and we have, of course, too much dynamic now, but static is not good as well, because static is Russia is an example of static society. That's you know better. That's you know better.
Question about that. Which kind of experience do you use from the French Quarter? I really, because I was a former citizen of the French Quarter, and you showed my flowers on the balcony.
Okay.
How do you use? I couldn't see that because there was no distraction of the.
Yeah, there was no distraction.
From the French army saying, and then there were flat room, and they built their new residential.
Yeah, but there are still a lot of things which we can use and which we can learn from this example, because first of all, the structure how people did it. So you gather in a group and you order the project from architects. And it's people. It's about together ownership and together doing this project, and this what has never happened in Ukraine. So it's a new pattern for us because people usually wait and help from outside, especially when it's so hard like this. But it will not be a case.
But be very careful, it's not a paradise.
Yeah, it's not a paradise, but yeah.
There are people living now in residential homes, and they don't talk to each other, and they were very enthusiastic at the beginning in the home. So I think it's a completely different way, but it's interesting that you use this experience. For me, it was so, there was in front of our house, there was a building, and we were sitting on the balcony drinking wine, and they were fighting for the color for the walls in the social room. And it was not like green, red, blue, it was light green, dark green, or maybe middle green, something like that.
Oh,
No, which
Okay, it's an example. I think it was when you talk to people there. It's difficult.
in your case, when everything is okay in your country, comparable with Ukraine, it can be a point of dividing people. But in Ukraine, it can have opposite effect. And also the way how in French